What is up, everybody? Welcome to a new edition of the Horror Lives Here podcast. This is your host, Aaron Wojciechowski, and I am going to do something a little fun today, and I'm probably going to piss some people off, and I'll explain why here in a minute. But I'm going to take my top five favorite horror franchises, which are, in no particular order, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Scream, and Friday the 13th. And I'm going to rank the movies in those franchises from my least favorite to my favorite. Every movie in every franchise, in all those franchises. Now, the reason I'm probably going to piss some people off is this. My rankings are not going to be anything like yours. In fact, of all of these, three of the five, the original are my favorite. I'll just say that. But the other two, the original's nowhere near my favorite. And a lot of people have this almost annoying thought that if the original has to be your favorite, the original is the greatest ever, and without the original, there'd be no others. And that part's true. But I don't always believe the original of the franchise is the best. It's certainly not ever. It's certainly not always my favorite. We're gonna start with well, it's on top, so we're gonna start with Halloween. Now I don't own every movie in these franchises, so ones I do own, I will hold the movies in front of the camera so you can see which one I'm talking about. The ones I really don't like, I'll probably rant on a little bit and tell you why I don't like them. So my least favorite Halloween, so number 12 is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Now, before everybody watching gets into a tizzy thinking, oh, great, he hates the Rob Zombie movies because I hate the Rob Zombie movies. I don't hate them both. The 2007 Rob Zombie's Halloween is one of my favorites. It's much further down the list. But this one, Halloween 2, was to me just pure garbage. You turn one of the greatest characters in the franchise, which is Dr. Loomis, into a money hungry, power hungry piece of shit that I couldn't stand. I could not stand him. Laurie, I thought Scout Taylor Compton was an incredible Laurie in the 2007 version, but this one, ugh, she was a. And I'm not saying Scout Taylor Compton didn't do a great acting job. I'm just saying the way he wrote the character was awful. She was a complete total bitch, hard to like, hard to get along with. So I couldn't stand her. The finale, there are going to be spoilers in this, but I'm assuming everybody's seen it. If you haven't, then you probably shouldn't watch this episode because I'm going to have spoilers on all these. But the ending is basically Laurie is in an insane asylum. She turns into Norman Bates. She kind of looks up at the camera and does the Norman Bates smile and the I wouldn't hurt a fly. Anyway, weird. The kills were okay. That was about the only thing about it. The ambulance kill at the beginning of the ambulance driver or the it's been so long since I've seen it. I think it was an ambulance driver, which was oh what's the actor's name? It's the same guy that played Sickhead in 31, Richard Brake. He breaks the window and puts his neck through the window. I mean, it was a gnarly kill. The kills in this movie are okay, but everything else just pure garbage, and that's why it's my least favorite Halloween of all of them. Number 11 is oh nope, wrong one. Grab the old one. There it is. Number 11 is this piece of crap, Halloween Resurrection. Another movie that, well, let's just be honest. Very few people like Resurrection. I'm sure there are some out there that like it. Just like I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that like Halloween too. I can't get past the whole Buster Rhymes thing. I think the idea was cool. I do think the plot of Resurrection was pretty cool. using modern technology, or at least 2002 technology, and having a live stream from Michael's house, and then Michael comes along and fucks the people up. That was pretty cool. Some of the characters were okay. Like I like Thomas Ian Nicholas. I thought he did a good job in the movie. I like uh I believe it was Katie Sackhoff, the blonde girl that was also in Urban Legends Final Cut. I thought she was good too. But the main girl, while she's very attractive, Bianca Kalich was just and nothing against Busta Rhymes. I'm a fan of Busta Rhymes, but really, Busta Rhymes in the movie karate chopping Michael Myers. Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't need to see that crap. Um, Tyra Banks was just basically eye candy. She didn't do anything the entire movie but sit there in the office or whatever. So yeah, Resurrection, and it's directed by a guy who directed one of my favorites. One of my favorites is the original Halloween 2, directed by Rick Rosenthal, who directed this. I keep holding up the wrong movie, but directing this piece of crap. So he's, 50-50 on his Halloween movies. But, that's it was not good. It was not good, in my opinion. Just why it's number 11 out of 12 movies. Now, the next two movies I do not own, so I cannot show you, but they are Halloween 2018 at number 10 and Halloween Kills at number 9. And I've watched both these movies once, and that was enough for me. When Michael Myers slaughters the little boy in Halloween 2018, the little boy in the car who's waiting for his father, and Michael slaughters him, I'm like, I've never seen Michael Myers kill a child. I mean, I know he's a psycho, but he's never killed. Like, he ran into Tommy Doyle as a little boy, never killed him. He ran it in Rob Zombie's Halloween. Twice he ran into two different little boys and never touched them. But in this one, he just slaughters that little boy, and I'm like, this isn't Michael. And he kills dogs, but I've never seen him kill a human child. So, and Laurie to me was pretty unlikable. Sorry, I know it's going to piss some people off, but because that one seems to get this ridiculous amount of praise, as does Halloween Kills. But for me, I was not into either one of them. And like I said, I've only seen them once. Maybe if I watch them a second time, I might have a different opinion. But right now, having only seen them both once, I'm like, I don't have any interest in seeing them again. I thought they both sucked. So that was number 10 and number 9. Number 8, now I can show this one, Halloween H2O, which is, I think, highly overrated. Highly overrated. It's it's not terrible by any means. It's not my least favorite of the franchise. It's not anywhere near my favorite either. I think it's just a bit overrated because just because a movie has Jamie Lee Curtis in it doesn't mean it has to be great. Resurrection had Jamie Lee Curtis in it too, but it was a piece of dog shit. H2O was not dog shit. It had its moments, and like I said, it's not anywhere near my least favorite, but it's, to me, it's just, it gets praise that it probably shouldn't get because I really didn't think it was that good. Um, Now the actors in it were great. Josh Hartnett. I like Josh Hartnett. I love Michelle Williams. She's gorgeous and she's an amazing actress. Adam Arkin was good. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who's only in it for a few minutes, was, again, I love him. LL Cool J, cool as hell. And The Parents by Janet Leigh, the original Marion Crane from Psycho, who was Jamie Lee Curtis's mom. And Jamie Lee Curtis did a good job in the movie too. Again, I don't hate it. I just don't think it's as great as everybody makes it out to be. I think it's got its flaws. I think it takes, it's a long build up until we see Michael at the very beginning We see Michael. My favorite part of the movie is the rest stop bathroom scene. Very intense. That's my favorite part of the entire movie. But for those of you who haven't seen it, Michael shows up at this rest stop. A mother and her daughter are in the bathroom. He comes into the women's bathroom. He walks around for a minute. Her the mother's purse is close enough to the door that he can reach under and grab it and pull it out. He gets her keys, walks out, never touches either one of them, gets in their car and leaves and heads towards Haddonfield, but I believe the town was called Summer Glen, California, something like that, and going to find his sister. And that's something else I didn't like about Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills was they dropped the sister storyline. They completely ignored everything about all the other movies, supposedly, but yet they copied some of the deaths from some of those other movies. They copied some of the kills from some of those other movies, but yet they're supposed to be completely ignoring them. And Michael Myers and Jamie Lee Curtis are no longer brother and sister. I don't know if they should have been brother and sister in the first place, but after, God, 9 sequels where they are, stop. Don't just suddenly change everything again. That's just stupid. So to say I'm looking forward to Halloween Ends would be a lie because I'm not. Will I see it? Yeah, I'll give it a watch, but not a fan. And a small semi fan of this. I just think it was a bit overrated. But again, it's not terrible by any means. It does have its moments. Next, and this is where I want to start to probably tick a few people off because my next 2 movies are movies that just get absolutely ridiculed by the fan base, but I'm a fan of them. Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Now, a lot of people trash this movie. A lot of people trash the fact that it's, it came out a year later. It's a terrible sequel, blah, 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 blah. But pretty simply put, I think Michael is vicious in this one, but not over the top vicious like he is in 2018 in Kills. But he is very vicious, very violent. Do I think they should have went with the storyline that they had at the end of part 4, where she's where Jamie turns out is the new Michael? Yeah, I think they should have went with that. That probably would have been even better. But I still enjoyed this one. Michael's. There's a couple of things I wish they would have done. The Jamie storyline, I wish they would have went with that. The original opening that they had for the movie that they talked about on many commentaries and documentaries, where Michael is Michael is brought in by this old man who kind of brings him back to life and nurses him back to health. This nice little old man who I think they said is even blind or something. But he finds Michael, he nurses him back to health, and then when Halloween comes along, Michael takes a stone or something and puts it through the guy's chest, or so. It was some weird stuff like that I thought would have been cooler than what we got. But Donald Pleasence is whacked out of his mind in this one. He's yelling and screaming at Jamie and the other kids. Now there is one character, Tina, who I think is universally considered one of the worst Halloween characters ever. I completely agree. Tina is the most annoying character ever. The I'm never sensible if I can help it. Just brutal. And I don't like Ellie Cornell being murdered at the very beginning of the movie. Although I'm not against her being killed off. I'm not against anybody in a horror movie being killed off. People. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a horror movie. You have to kill people off. I'm one of the people that thinks at some point you either need to get rid of Sidney Prescott or they need to kill her off, because to have her survive 27 movies is getting a little bit ridiculous. But I'll get to that when I get to Scream later. But Bo Starr comes back as Sheriff Meeks. A little bit more angry, obviously, because his daughter was murdered in part 4. And I'm not a big fan of the man with black boots. I'm not a big fan of the ending with Michael in a jail cell. Really, You're gonna put Michael Myers in a jail cell, and then there's an explosion, and suddenly he just disappears. But it is what it is. I enjoyed part five more than others. I didn't even mind the new house. I mean, it was kind of a creepy gothic castle looking thing. And while it didn't remind me of the Myers house, it was still kind of cool. So now we'll move on. This is number 6. So we're halfway through the countdown. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Yes, the one without Michael Myers. The one without Jamie Lee Curtis. The one without Donald Pleasence. But still a very good movie. I am fully under the belief that if this movie got released under a different title, that it would have been a lot more popular because I think it was a damn good horror movie. The only thing it has to do with Halloween is the fact that it takes place on Halloween. Looking back, I guess they kind of realized they messed up a little bit there, but at the same time, they made a damn good movie. Tommy Lee Wallace was the director. He did a damn good job. Tom Atkins was great as the lead. Stacey Nelkin, beautiful, great. Number 2, right beside Tom Atkins. And the jingle, 3 more days till Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 3 more days till Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Yeah, I get stuck in my head like everybody else does, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun, creepy, dark little thing. I just liked it. I just thought it was fun, and it was a terrifying story, especially as somebody who has kids myself. It's a terrifying story, which it does give you the creeps. It does make you a little uneasy, but it's supposed to. It's a horror movie. So, Halloween 3: Season of the Witch, highly underrated. People bash it because there's no Michael, no Jamie, no Donald Pleasance, but it's still, watch it for what it is. Watch it for being a horror movie, and I think you'll love it. It's a great horror movie. The atmosphere is great. Everything's great about it. Next, number 5 is Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Now we're getting into the movies that I absolutely love. I absolutely love 3. 5 I liked. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I like it. 4 I love, or 3 I love. 4 I love. Fantastic movie. Ellie Cornell's great. Danielle Harris is adorable. George P. Wilbur and Tom Morga, who both play the Shape throughout different points in the movie, were phenomenal. Donald Pleasance is back and fantastic. I love the burn on his face that tells you about what happened in part 2. I love that right there. And there's a great opening scroll at the beginning of the movie that kind of explains to you what's been going on. I love the poster. That's just creepy right there. Halloween 4 is pretty much universally considered one of the greatest sequels. Probably for a lot of people, it's either H2O 4, 2-4 or H2O. This seems to be the overwhelming majority of people's favorite sequels is either Halloween 2, Halloween 4, or H2O. For me, of the sequels, it's part 2, but part 4 is my second favorite sequel. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Or actually, my third favorite sequel, as you will see, because there's one that I haven't mentioned. I'm sure it's going to, again, piss people off because it's very much hated. But I do love part 4. I love the whole idea of the hillbillies getting a posse together, trying to go after Michael. And I love the line where the guy's like, let the police handle it. It's their job. And he's like, that's a good idea. After coming out with the guns and pretend to be all badass that they're going to take Michael out. And they realize, yeah, we're biting off way more than we can chew. So let's let the police handle it. 4 is just a darn near perfect horror movie. It has everything. It has some comedic moments. It has drama, like the storyline with Grady and Rachel. It has fantastic protagonists. Rachel and Jamie are both so lovable, so easily likable, so easy to follow. And Michael's just a piece of shit in this movie, man. He is a violent, evil piece of crap. And that's great. That's what you're supposed to be in a horror movie. Next is Halloween 2. What else could be said about this movie? The hospital atmosphere is phenomenal. Rick Rosenthal did a great job directing it. It's dark, it's suspenseful, it has a lot of tension, just like the first one, but it also has some great kills. The hot tub kill is one of everybody's favorites, including mine. With the beautiful nurse, topless, is attacked by Michael and this face first into this boiling hot, like he had turned the heat up in the pool or in the hot tub while seeing her boyfriend in it. The boyfriend gets out to see why it's so hot, and he gets killed off screen by Michael or in the background by Michael. And then she thinks Michael's hand's touching her shoulder, so she kisses his hand and all that stuff, and realizes there's blood on it. And Michael grabs her by the hair and just slams her face first into this, I don't know, 1,000-degree water, whatever it was, until her skin's melting on her face and she's dead. Great kill. The needle in the temple of one of the nurses is a great kill. He comes up behind one of the nurses with a knife, sticks the knife in her back, and lifts her up until her clogs fall off. There's some great scenes. There's also a scene that to this day, like the little child, I don't know if it's a little boy or girl, but it has their lips have been cut by an apple or something. Apparently somebody put a razor blade in an apple and just chopped the lips of this poor little kid. The blood's gushing from his mouth. That scene still gets to me to this day when I watch it. Just great moments. And then, of course, it ends with this is the one where we find out Jamie Lee Curtis is Laurie Strode and Michael Myers are brother and sister. Michael's come back to kill his sister. It's also where we hear the word Sam Hain for the first time in the Halloween movies. And that great ending in the hospital where Loomis shoots Michael right in the eye holes. Or actually, Jamie Lee Curtis shoots Michael right in the eye holes. And then Loomis comes in with his gun and shoots. He gets everybody out, but he and Michael. And there's this air hissing from this tank, and he shoots the tank. Explosion. You think they're both dead. And the song Mr. Sandman plays, where you see Michael just burning, and there's just, he's dead. But people were so mad that Halloween 3 didn't have him, they brought him back to life somehow. It's same with Donald Pleasance. Michael Myers, I guess you can kind of explain away just by the fact that he's this evil killing machine, but how do you explain Donald Pleasance? He's a human being. He's in the explosion and somebody survives. Anyway, Halloween 2 is my fourth favorite. Down to number 3 now. Rob Zombie's Halloween. Saw this one in the theater. This one and the next one I'll talk about are the only 2 Halloween movies that I've seen in the theater. And I had a blast with it because I'm a huge Rob Zombie fan. And I went opening weekend to see this in a packed house, and it was a lot of fun. People bash this movie, man, but people had fun watching it in the theater. It's like Michaels doesn't need a backstory. Well, maybe not, but he got one. And I can understand people not liking the first part of the movie. I can't. I thought it was done well. I liked it. I thought Jake Ferris was did a great job as the kid, as the little Michael Myers. Some of the guy he killed at school was a complete jerk off that deserved to die. I thought it was a great death scene where he just beat this kid to death with a tree branch. William Forsythe I love watching him in anything, and his yelling and screaming, and he had a cast on his hand and a cast on his leg, and I'm all fucked up, bitch, can't work. And he talks about Judas ass, which is a very creepy, funny line, but creepy line. I just enjoyed it. But once Michael once Donald or excuse me, I thought Michael McDowell did a great job as Dr. Loomis too. And once he left Michael at Smith's Grove, it had turned into basically the original kind of Halloween movie. I thought he was great. I thought it was great. And I've even heard a lot of people that didn't necessarily like the entire movie say once it went to Haddonfield, it was a good movie. And I thought, Danielle Harris, although she looks a little old to be playing a 17-year-old, but still she's gorgeous and she's Halloween royalty. So nobody had an issue with it, including me. She had that intense scene where she's topless and Michael attacks her and she's got blood gushing all over, and she survives. I was very happy that she survived. Um, Scott Taylor Compton did amazing, especially look at the fact that she was just a kid. She was like 16 or 17 when they shot this, but she, was an adult. The kid playing Tommy Doyle, I could take or leave him. He was okay, I guess, but I don't know. Same with the girl playing Lindsay. I'm not saying they were bad. They were not my favorite characters of the movie. But I thought Scott Taylor Compton did great. I thought Malcolm McDowell did great. I love Brad Dourif as the sheriff, which we didn't get well, yeah, we did get a sheriff. We got Charles Cypher. So, I thought he did a great job taking that sheriff bracket role. The girl playing Linda was okay. I didn't have an issue with her. A lot of people did, but I didn't have an issue with her. I thought she was good. But I think this movie gets unnecessarily ridiculed sometimes because people have this tendency to just want to bash Rob Zombie. But I thought he made a different story. He didn't just come out and carbon copy the first one, which was a lot of people's worry at the time, that he was going to come out and just make a carbon copy of the first one. Well, he didn't do that, and you still bashed him because that's what people do. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really liked Rob Zombie's Halloween. My second favorite, and this is going to surprise a lot of people because this is probably universally the second most hated one after 3, The Curse of Michael Myers. Now, I will admit that part of the reason I love this one so much is probably nostalgia, because this is the first Halloween movie I ever saw in theaters. And when I was watching it in theaters at the age of 10 or 11, because I don't know, I don't remember when it came out, 95. It was after May, I was 11. It was before I was 10. But I thought it was a very fun movie. I still like the Thorn thing. Because at some point it's like, why is Michael surviving all the time? What is his secret? Well, we kind of find out what his secret is. Highly entertaining. I thought Paul Rudd did an amazing job, and it's really cool seeing how big a star he's become. And then thinking his first movie was Halloween 6. I don't know what he thinks about the movie. I haven't really heard him talk about it much, but it's on his IMDb. So I've seen some people just completely. Kevin Bacon don't even put Friday the 13th on his IMDb. By the way, F you, Kevin Bacon. Your first movie was not Taxi. It was Friday the 13th. Excuse me, Diner. It wasn't Diner. It was Friday the 13th. But Paul Rudd doesn't deny it. He just doesn't talk about it a whole lot. But I thought he was great. And Marianne Hagen, I don't know why she hasn't become a bigger star. She was beautiful. She was an amazing actress and did a great job as Kara Strode. The little boy, Danny, was completely unannoying. Very, very likable kid. The old lady that played Mrs. Blankenship was great. Just really creepy. And I didn't like the whole man in black boots storyline in 5. I liked the reveal in 6. And Donald Pleasance, and this is his last performance. The look of shock on his face when he finds out who it's his best friend, who at the beginning of the movie he's sitting there drinking coffee with, was great. And I really liked it. And I love the massacre in the hospital at the end. I love seeing Michael get the ever-loving crap beat out of him with that lead pipe. I mean, Paul Rudd went all Incredible Hulk on him and just beat the dog shit out of him with a lead pipe. Unlike Busta Rhymes, who went crazy and karate kicked him and did karate chops and walls. And yeah, Paul Rudd used the lead pipe. So that makes a lot more sense. But yeah, it's universally hated, but it's one of my favorites of the franchise. But my all-time favorite of the franchise is what probably 99% of people's favorite is: the original John Carpenter's Halloween. Not going to spend too much time talking about it because there's not a whole lot that can be said. One of, if not the greatest horror movies ever made, and certainly one of my all-time favorite horror movies ever. So that's my Halloween list. We'll go back through it real quick. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 at number 12, Resurrection at number 11, 2018 at number 10, Kills at number 9, H2O at number 8, 5 at number 7, The Revenge of Michael Myers, Season of the Rich Witch at number 6, The Return of Michael Myers at number 5, Halloween 2 at number 4, Rob Zombie's Halloween at number 3, The Curse of Michael Myers at number 2, and then Halloween, the original, at number 1. All right. So the next series we're gonna go through, and we'll go to this one next. It's a lot shorter series, but it's also something I really want to talk about. We'll go into something else I really want to talk about for a minute, and that is the Scream series. Only 5 movies. I do not own number 5, but it's lower on my list anyway. But my least favorite, so number 5 of the Scream series, Scream 4. And I know it gets people like it, and that's cool. I have no problem with that. But for me, I don't. My favorite part of Scream 4 is Kirby, and when they either kill her off or whatever, I mean the movie comes to a grinding halt. I just don't care anymore. And the reveal of it being two of the most uninteresting characters in the entire movie, Charlie and then Jill. Charlie's just, I don't care. And Jill, they try to make you care by having her just be batshit crazy and beating the crap out of herself, pulling her own hair out, jumping through a glass table, doing all this other crap. And I'm like, and I went into that movie thinking, I saw this one in the theater, and I went to it thinking, one of the original cast members has to die, and it needs to be Gail. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody else thinks. Gail, of the original characters, is my least favorite. Dewey was amazing. Dewey's an amazing character. Sydney, I get why you can't kill her, although I think you should. I get why you can't. So it had to be Gail. Nope. Somehow they all survived again, and it's just, I like the idea of a group of kids, a club coming together at school to watch horror movies and talk horror movies. That's kind of cool. Kind of replaces Randy, I guess, a little bit, because this is the first movie without even a cameo from Randy in it. But I just didn't like it. I got bored with it in theater. I left the theater going, well, that's probably the last one. And this is no offense to Wes Craven, because he's my favorite director ever, and rest in peace. To me, the greatest horror director of all time. But it doesn't mean he didn't make some movies that I didn't like. And Scream 4 is one of them. Next, and I have this 3-disc, 3-film set, or 5 films with the 2 documentaries. So I can't really show you each one, but next is Scream 3, which seems to be universally everybody's least favorite of the franchise, and I don't really get why, but I don't get why it's the worst than Part 4. Is it funny? Is it goofy at times? Yeah, but it's still got its Scream moments. It's got some of the best phone calls in the series. And the opening with Cotton and his girlfriend getting slaughtered was really, really cool, really well done. I like the idea that they moved it out of Woodsboro to a Hollywood set. And I like the Detective Kincaid. I love his partner. I can't remember his partner's name, but the character or the actor is Josh Pius, who did the voice of Raphael in the Ninja Turtles, which is my favorite Raphael. The original Ninja Turtles, the 1990 version. That Raphael is my favorite turtle ever, because he's got such an attitude. He's so funny to listen to. And it's the same guy. They were making a movie called Stabbed. He was stabbed. Great line. This is the we're going to take you down the station. So this is the scene where you come with us. A lot of people didn't like the killer reveal. Admittedly, it came out of left field, but at the same time, that's a good thing. Like, I don't want to be able to figure it out, and nobody could tell me they had it figured out. Nobody had Roman Peck as the killer. Nobody could tell me they had Roman Peck as the killer. If it had been Angela, like a lot of people said it was supposed to have been, that would have been obvious, especially when she ran into her in the bathroom and she dropped the mask and all that stuff. And it would have become too obvious at that point. If you go back and watch these movies, obviously you know who the killer is the second time you watch them, but there's also things you can pick up on where you say, "Oh my gosh, that's I knew then that was the killer." And you know, there's no way you could have figured out Roman was the killer. He was kind of annoying, kind of a crybaby at times, but there's no way you would have sit there and said, "Oh, that's the killer." So I thought that was great, and I love the reason why. Um, it made probably the most sense out of any reason why a killer kills somebody in Scream. I mean, in four, it's the little bitch just wants to be famous. She wants to be the next Cindy Prescott. Number two, the mother wanting revenge for her son being murdered. That one was realistic too, and a good reason why. Mickey, again, another person who's just fame hungry and wants to go to trial because he wants the trial to be, and he thinks he can get off because he can use the movies as a reason to get off, which was ridiculous because had he went to trial, he would have gotten the death penalty. There's no jury in America would have gotten him off. The original was pretty creative reasoning. But to me, three made the most sense. Like his family was destroyed. He had no mother. His mother abandoned him because of Sydney, or he thinks it's because of Sydney. So it made sense. And the final fight between those two was great. So number three is the newest one, the one that just came out this year, 2022. I don't own it, so I can't show anything. But I thoroughly enjoy it. I saw this one in theaters. So the last two, 4 and 5, I've seen in theaters, and I thought it was highly entertaining. I will say I thought the killer reveal in part three was better than the killer reveal here. The killer reveal here was kind of not necessarily the reveal. The reveals were fine, but I thought the killers themselves were just yeah. Amber. Sorry, spoiler alert for those of you who have not seen Scream 5 yet. But so fast forward if you don't want to hear about it. But Amber and Richie. Richie was. I watched this again yesterday and just realized how annoying Richie was. Richie was a very annoying, whiny. Some would say smart, I guess, but very, very whiny, stupid character. So I loved his death scene too. The kill of him at the very end. The girl just went insane on him, stabbed him multiple times. It was great. She came off like her father Billy. Number two is Scream 2, and then number one is the original Scream. I don't know. I need to say a whole lot about them. I love both of them. I thought they were fantastic movies. I love the whodunit in both of them. I love the fact that in part two is Billy's mother who orchestrated the whole thing, looking for revenge for her son being murdered. As a parent, I you know I get it. Not necessarily think it's. I don't necessarily think she had a right to, but I got it. I got why she did. So for Scream, it was Scream 4 at number 5, Scream 3 at number 4, the newest one at number 3, Scream 2 at number 2, and Scream at number 1. Now, something else I want to get into real quick before I move on to the next series, which will be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love theme movies, and I understand they're not the greatest, but I've gotten into a massive back and forth with some people on Facebook because they believe in their mind fan films should not exist. You should not be allowed to do fan films because you're just copying somebody else's work. Fan films are fun, man. There are some good Scream fan films out there. Scream Legacy is one of them. That's the one I got in an argument with people about because these people are just trashing not only the movie, which that's your opinion. I don't care about that. But trashing the people that make them because they're unoriginal, they're uncreative, they're just stealing other people's work, blah, blah, blah. These are called fan movies. You're not making a dime off of these. You're putting a lot of your own money, your own time, your own thought into these movies. If for some fat, slobby jerk off on Facebook, I'm talking to you, Ronald, whatever the hell your last name is, to sit there on his fat ass, probably in his mother's basement, and trash these people that make fan films when your fat ass probably couldn't get up off of your seat enough to go to the bathroom, much less have enough energy to make a movie. Put your own time, your own effort, your own money into making a fan movie for something that you love. You, you. And the same goes for you. I can't remember this other guru, Eric Cook, I believe is his name, and he claims to be from here in Arkansas. So whatever. His Facebook doesn't have a place on a state on it, but he says fellow Arkansan, so I guess he's from here or he lives here or whatever. But YouTube goobs, you're entitled to your opinion on the movie, but how dare you trash the people that make the movie because you're not creative enough, you don't have enough energy, you can't get out of your mama's basement fast enough to go make your own. Fan films are fun. They're not meant to win Academy Awards. They're not meant to make money because you can't make money off of them. They are a love. They're love for the franchises that you're making a movie about. And there's a movie called Scream Legacy. For those of you who have not seen it, it's on Facebook. Scream Legacy, or not Facebook, it's on YouTube. Scream Legacy, a fan film. It is a great fan film. It's like an hour and 5 or 10 minutes long. They get the music cues right. Ghostface is great. The voice is really good. It's not Roger Jackson, but it's pretty close. The kills are great. The characters are good. It ties into the original movies, and I won't give away how, but it's a great thing. I have a friend who I've interviewed, Jason Pitts, who's making a Friday the 13th fan film. So these two doofballs, these two pieces of garbage that just have the audacity to trash other people. Fuck you. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the stream now, and I will continue with the other ones later. I'll do a second stream with the rest of them. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later. My daughter's up.